Hi everyone, Coach Saul here. Welcome to the Canadian Armed Forces Fitness Studios. I'm here with Josh Kutryk, who is a Canadian astronaut, and we're here just to have a little discussion about his career and his life and his journey through the CAF. And so without further ado, we'll get into it.
Yeah, and we just did the force test.
Yes.
We should mention that.
Yes, absolutely. We should mention that.
Having lots of fun.
Right.
I recently had the pleasure of being the evaluator for Colonel Josh Kutryk's annual force test. He passed with flying colors, and afterwards I got the chance to lead him through a cool-down stretch and discuss how he became an astronaut, his role models, and the part fitness plays in his career. J'ai récemment eu le plaisir d'être l'évaluateur du test force annuel du colonel Josh Kutryk. Il a passé avec panache et j'ai ensuite eu la chance de lui leader à travers un étirement de récupération et de discuter avec lui de la façon dont il est devenu astronaute, de ses modèles et du rôle que joue la forme physique dans sa carrière. Stretch along with us and enjoy. Étirez-vous avec nous et profitez-en.
Aimez cette vidéo et abonnez-vous à notre chaîne YouTube afin que vous sachiez exactement quand du nouveau contenu est disponible.
Let's start by just stretching out our arms a little bit. We'll do the tricep shoulder combo here. And while we're in this position, I'll just ask you how and why. So why did you decide to become an astronaut, and how did you go from, you know, a young kid to being an astronaut today?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think if I think about it, as a kid, I wanted to do this. I've dreamt of flying my whole life. I didn't, really think it was that realistic of a goal. But I knew it was something that I wanted to do if I could, and I think the reasons for that they're about like curiosity and exploring. I was always like that. I wanted to explore. I was very curious about the world around me. I wanted to know how everything worked. And so growing up, being interested in science, physics, wanting to explore, having an absolute passion for flying, I mean, the astronaut thing just stayed as kind of an ultimate goal that I pursued. And of course, it didn't happen right away. It took many years and a couple of tries, but eventually it did, and I'm just very grateful for that, and I still feel lucky.
Okay, so you're saying like there was a few hurdles through.
Sure.
Yeah.
And it takes an immense amount of work. I think you have to get a little bit lucky. You have to try out, right? And the selection is hard. It takes place over a year. You compete against thousands of people, and you're constantly put in positions where you're really uncomfortable. You don't know what the right answer is. They're really stressful situations, but you just kind of gotta bring you to the table, I guess, and hope that it's the right answer, and that's what they're looking for.
Okay, and have you been with the Air Force your entire career going through this?
I have, yeah. So I'm actually on about year 23 right now.
Okay.
And real quickly on that, I joined as an 18-year-old. I went to Royal Military College, joined the Air Force, initially as an aerospace engineer, and then I switched over to pilot about when I was finishing at the Royal Military College, and then I was an Air Force pilot, fighter pilot on the F-18. I became a test pilot, and I was working in that capacity when I got selected.
Okay.
Yeah, but I am still active Air Force technically.
Right. Okay. And is this one of the kind of only paths that one could take to become an astronaut?
No, not at all. And that's a distinction that's worth making. When people ask me this, and I reflect on the office that I work in. So I live and work in Houston on behalf of the Canadian Space Agency, the Canadian Air Force. And we have a group of about 50 international astronauts down there. And if I look at their background, we have some pilots, we have some test pilots, but we've also got a ton of other people. We have scientists, geologists, physicists, teachers, veterinarians, leaders. So we have all types of people. I think that what everyone does have in common is that they've had a passion, they found a passion, they followed it their whole life, they became really good at it.
Right.
A technical skill. And secondly, they're operational. So they've done operational things, worked field environments.
Okay.
Areas where you have to make decisions, where there's risk, real consequence, chance of failure, that kind of stuff.
Right. And is this are these kind of situations what they will put you through in the selection process?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's what it's all about. So
right. Okay.
You're gonna, we ended up fighting fires, and there was a couple times when, and there's some people around here I know who orchestrated this, so they might find it funny to hear this, but there were times when there was one time when I was certain I was going to drown.
Okay.
So yeah, they did a really good job at stressing you out and seeing what your reaction is and seeing what your ability is basically to solve problems, I would say, as a member of a team, a new team that you've just met, while operating in a, what I call high risk, high consequence situation.
Right. Okay. Awesome. Yeah, just doing like some wrist figure eights. Quel rôle joue la conditionnement physique dans votre quotidien?
Ouais. Pour moi, c'était une chose qui était toujours importante dans ma vie personnelle. Mais maintenant, en tant qu'astronaute, c'est vraiment important. Une raison pour ça, c'est que moi, je suis en train maintenant de m'entraîner pour une mission de longue durée. Ça veut dire 6-7 mois dans l'espace. Et 6 mois dans l'espace pour un astronaute, c'est un environnement qui est vraiment dangereux, vraiment nocif pour le corps humain. Donc, il faut que je puisse être capable de faire une récupération après la mission.
Oui, absolument.
Oui, tout ça, c'est notre stratégie, c'est tout lié à la forme physique.
Oui.
Et donc, j'ai besoin maintenant, avant mission, il ne reste que pour moi 11-12 mois. C'est vraiment important maintenant, même aussi pendant la mission, de faire beaucoup d'entraînement physique, de garder une bonne santé physique.
Oui. Et
c'est tout pour la raison de comme j'ai dit, soit capable de faire une récupération après la mission. Nous avons des équipes à la NASA, l'Agence spatiale canadienne qui travaillent sur ça. Peut-être il reste 3 aspects. La forme physique, l'entraînement physique, c'est bien important, mais aussi la nutrition que vous avez déjà mentionné. Ça, c'est un grand défi dans l'espace, bien sûr, parce que nous n'avons pas beaucoup d'espace.
Oui,
nous n'avons pas beaucoup d'équipements pour préparer la nourriture et tout ça. Mais la nutrition pour les astronautes dans cet environnement reste vraiment important.
Oui.
Et la troisième chose, c'est vraiment important, mais nous ne parlons pas souvent sur ça, c'est la santé mentale.
Oui.
Parce que c'est un environnement vraiment isolé. Et c'est long, 6 mois.
Oui.
En orbite, dans l'espace, sans famille, sans vos amis, avec beaucoup de stress, beaucoup d'argent, beaucoup de risques. C'est dur, c'est un défi pour la tête aussi.
Oui, et quand vous reviendrez, est-ce que vous retournerez chez vous? Chez vous, c'est en Houston?
Oui, maintenant c'est à Houston, exactement.
Oui.
C'est intéressant avec ce véhicule. Je vais voler à bord d'une chose qui s'appelle Starliner. C'est un nouveau véhicule. Et c'est intéressant parce qu'avec ça, je vais atterrir sur la Terre, dans le désert de Nouveau-Mexique.
Ah, OK.
Et pour votre question, après ça, oui, on va revenir à Houston. Nous avons là-bas beaucoup de laboratoires pour aider avec ça, avec toute la récupération.
Oui.
Et oui, après ça, je vais réunir avec ma famille, mes amis.
Après combien de temps est-ce que vous réunirez avec votre famille, après d'atterrir?
C'est rapide en fait, peut-être 2-3 jours.
Ok, 2-3 jours. Ok.
Ouais. Bon, mais on va continuer de faire chaque jour, de suivre un programme de récupération dans les laboratoires à Houston.
Oui, ok. Alors chaque jour, vous rentrez pour continuer votre réhabilitation.
Oui, exactement.
Ok, cool. Did you have any role models coming up through the Canadian Armed Forces?
Yeah, of course. We have I've had passions, and I'm grateful for that. I think I owe a lot to my passions, but one of them certainly was flying. As you know, I wanted to fly the fastest, most complicated thing that I could, and I've been lucky enough to do that. But because of that, I idolized, I followed people who had done that, and so for me, growing up, I loved reading about Neil Armstrong. More as an adult, when I got into the Royal Canadian Air Force, Chris Hadfield was a role model. He still is. He's a mentor. I know him. We talk fairly often. And so I'm grateful for influences like that. It's important. There's no doubt, you know, that I wouldn't have made all the decisions I made and done all the things that I did without role models. So it's important not to underestimate the effect that people can have in that capacity.
Absolutely. And what would you say, like, your relationship with your role models are? Like because you spoke of a mentor. Can you speak to that?
So initially, I think it's one of inspiration. When you're young, you meet someone like that, and it's an inspiration, and it hatches the idea and the passion, and you go, wow, this, you know, you think about that, what a life like that might be like, and could I do it, and how fun it would be. And because before that, you don't even have the idea. You don't have the inspiration to go do it. So it starts as an inspiration, but then as you mature and you get into professional life and whatever professional pursuits you're doing, I think the relationship changes to one of mentorship, which is equally important. But then you're relying on these people for advice, essentially, to inform you about, you know, the difficult decisions that we all make in our lives. Irrespective of what we're doing, we all make really important decisions about what we want to do and where we want to focus our energies, where we want to prioritize our time, things like that, and the kind of person that we want to be. And mentorship is really important for that. So.
Dernière question pour vous. Est-ce que vous avez un message à donner à la prochaine génération, non seulement pour les astronautes, mais aussi pour la prochaine génération des forces armées canadiennes?
Oui.
Vous pouvez le dire en anglais ou en français, ça ne dérange pas.
Tout d'abord, rêvez grand. Si vous êtes comme j'étais quand j'étais jeune, quand j'avais 6 ans, je me souviens qu'il y avait des choses comme l'exploration de sciences et physique. Ces choses comme ça m'ont toujours passionné, motivé, intéressé. Et si vous êtes comme ça, jeune Canadien, rêvez grand parce que the future is really bright. L'avenir est absolument plein d'opportunités pour des gens comme ça, especially right now. If you think about it right now, Canada is preparing to do this mission, which is the 4th long-duration space mission that this country will do. Really important for our country. At the same time, we're preparing to do our first lunar mission, right? Which is a flyby of the moon, Artemis 2. Jeremy is also an RCAF member. And we're doing it at the same time. And what you should take from that is that there's a lot going on in space right now in Canada. And it's just the very beginning. So there's going to be a ton of opportunity. And if you're passionate about that sort of stuff, your timing is really, really good. So get excited about it. And stay attached to the dream and the vision and the passion, and you never know where you might end up. That would be my message.
That's a great message. Josh, I would like to thank you for your time, and I'd also like to thank you for your service. And I hope that this video is going to help anyone who's looking up to Josh as a maybe one day mentor, but as a role model to inspire them to follow their dreams. So thank you very much.
I would say, je dirais la même chose. Merci beaucoup pour votre service. Thank you for doing my test, and thank you for the talk. It was really fun. Enjoyed it.
Thank you.
Merci beaucoup.
To learn more about Colonel Josh Kutryk and his upcoming mission, see the links in the description. Pour en savoir plus sur le colonel Josh Kutryk et sa prochaine mission, consultez les liens dans la description. Like this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel so you know exactly when new content is coming your way.